Hello everybody and welcome to our last King of the Hill game for week 7. And once again I am telling you that we have Brosras playing. It's going to be Brosras playing a different faction, this time the OKW.
And he's up against somebody that's big in Japan, but much bigger in the company of Heroes 2 scene. It is the inimitable Helping Hands playing as his beloved, coveted and fierce Brits from the north of Crossing in the Woods. And is this going to become a bloodbath?
I hope it does. And I was saying to you previously, you know, that we haven't seen enough Brits in this. We saw Sudolio play Brits last week, and whilst it was a good game, it wasn't like a convincing win. We haven't seen the Brits dominate, and we used to see them dominate heavily. If there's one player that does know how to dominate with Brits, it will be Hans. He's a very careful player. He's a very good kind of build-orientated and strategic player. And hopefully he gets to show us a little bit of this faction's strength in the current meta.
It's a testament to the Brits' unpopularity in the competitive company heroes scene. I mean, auto match is probably the weakest ELO ladder because people don't play them as much. And in tournaments, there's only been 3 players that have played Brits with any level of convincingness, if that's a word. Jove, aim strong, but most of all, helping hands. He's been by far the best tournament level Brit player. He's won ESL tournaments with the Brits. He has just dominated in his own way with this faction, made them his own. And it's very exciting to see him lining up against something that looks very powerful today in Brosras.
Yeah, look at this, right from the start, he is on the hunt. He wastes no time whatsoever, I think, in diving for a potential Kubel, which fortunately Brosras had on the right-hand side of the map. This Universal Carrier's job is now coming back and trying to help his infantry up against the formidable Stern Pioneers.
Indeed, the Stern Pioneers are going to be gunned down like the dogs they are. They're in fact having to retreat because Brosras knows they're very expensive to replicate. Meanwhile, he's actually soaked up some shots with his Kubelwagen, which is nice because he'll be able to repair it. Now both are pushed off the field, but isn't so great for Brosras' control. And he's having to get the Rakettenwerfer out as his fourth built unit, so that's not great for him.
I think Hans' aggression here with the Universal Carrier is key to him having map control. I think if he didn't have this unit, he would be getting kind of stomped right now. As we kind of look at how Brits survive in this meta, I think like against OKW, it seems pretty key, and it's also, as you've mentioned, great at forcing your opponent to build a specific counter, you know, kind of further weakening OKW's field presence, because, you know, Brits are great in cover, and now he's got less to push with. Of course, he does have to just be very careful with the Universal Carrier on the field.
And it's not been that bad in terms of map control for Brosras, because obviously Hans has elected to have one less capping unit on the field through having gone Universal Carrier, so it's kind of cancelled one another out, that early game tactical advantage. So it's all quiet for a moment as both players kind of just dance around one another, throwing little jabs, trying to feel one another out. And you've got to feel, Dan, because Brosras hasn't played much in tournaments and Helping Hands hasn't been around much in 1v1 ladder recently, these guys are relative unknowns to one another.
Yeah, I would agree that probably is the case. I haven't caught up with Hans' progression in auto match, or kind of how he's playing, what he's playing. Raketten shot narrowly misses the Universal Carrier there. Stern Pioneers planting mines on the strategic point just leading out of Hans' base.
Ooh,
and Hans
interesting battle here. One-man Foot Grenadier versus one-man Tommy. Who's going to win out? Oh, Helping Hands knows that Tommy costs more, so doesn't want to gamble, and that's wise. Meanwhile, the UC's about to die, thanks to the Rakettenwerfer getting in a great position through the centre.
Oh, he needs to be so careful of that. That could...
Got outside the field of vision. Now he needs to do it again. He's again got outside, but the actual weapons, the Kar 98 rifles of the crew members, kills the UC regardless. Meanwhile, the Kubelwagen goes down to the Sturmgewehrs. That makes no sense.
Wow, I was engineers took down the Kubelwagen, the Raketten some. I'm still figuring out how that happened, because they took it down with they took it down with the rifles. It was just low enough health, I guess, for it to.
No, that's how the UC went down. It went down to the crew members' rifles. But how did the Kubelwagen just die?
The Cooper wagon died to an engineer squad, a British engineer squad.
Oh, fair enough. It must have been delayed in exploding. It was
No,
off camera for me.
the stern pioneers killed it. You can see the bodies on the floor. Are still there at the moment. The stern pioneers crushed them just as that's happening.
Fair enough.
But the Hans very, very much on the back foot right now. Needs to connect his territory, but then again, what's the point? It is about to be taken by Brosras with a convincing early game lead.
In helping Hans' favour, he has had the western fuel point and he's about to cap that now. So we've got that yin-yang ebb and flow effect of battle. So although it's temporarily a bit of a loss in the east, he'll make up for it in the west. Where does Helens go from here? I mean, one could say possibly get a Vickers out, but instead he's gone for requisition of the AEC, which is, again, a pretty decent idea in general, and he does tend to try and get it out if he can.
Hans loves to get it out. And I think one of the one of the good things here, check this out. So Brosras went up through the center. He flanked around to get this decap because he saw Hans was trying to cap resources on the right hand side. He's also laying mines as well. It's just really, really good play from Brosras. He is just making things so difficult for Hans. When this AC does come onto the field, it's probably going to trip one of these and just cause chaos. Especially now that we see Brosras going for the Lukes too. You know, it's going to be harder and harder for Hans to push infantry up the field. So it's a solid game from Brosras so far.
It is. Everything about his plays today has been solid. Not so solid right now as the Stern Pioneers' squishy bodies as they're gunned down from those Enfield rifles. AC emerges, spawns like the Terminator it can become in the west there. And as the AC is an interesting one. Its main gun profile is geared towards, of course, the destruction of vehicles. However, it's got 2 machine guns, which everybody knows thanks to Mr. Smith's expert coding improvements, now fire independently and are very just good at picking off infantry. And it makes the AC not as much of an all-rounder as it was in its early days, but it certainly can be fairly potent against infantry, so it doesn't matter saying that the Lukes is hitting, so it's perfectly timed in general.
Hans making a very sensible decision here to go for the strategic decap, stopping Brosras from getting fuel on the right-hand side, whilst not directly engaging it. That, of course, is going to be met by the Panzer II Lukes, which has just come on the field, and I'm pretty sure is going to take that line to defend resource connections.
One would say so. This Tommy's got a long, hard retreat path. Fortunately for it, the AC can come to its rescue. Actually stays behind green cover for a while. This is Hans showing what an expert player he is. Every other player, well, a lot of other players would have retreated, but he knows that that would be dangerous. He's done it now, but not before he's got the AEC into cover, and that's what timing of great players is all about. Saying that though, Rakettenwerfer's here to protect the Panzer II.
He makes the sensible decision here. I don't think he's going to chase that. Wait, what?
Rear armour of the AEC was shot at. He's popped smoke, defends himself against Rakettenwerfer, but now he's stalling it with the Panzer II. He could have attacked ground. He did not. Here comes a possible Panzerfaust. AEC has to get out of there. Panzer II hides behind the garrison, gets shot regardless.
Oh, you know, Brosras has to make this shot right now. Otherwise... Oh, he gets it!
Oh, he makes it! That was like a javelin missile. That was huge from Brosras. He needed to get that to keep equitable in this game and keep in this contest. And what a cool turn of affairs that was.
I felt like Zeus himself just threw a thunderbolt at helping Hans then. Bloody hell. I mean, really, Hans is just not having particular luck. It was good idea, good micro, but I mean, just unlucky. And Brosras, again, just coming out on top. He's mine swept for Hans, also laying mines outside a building that Hans may elect to occupy at some point during the game. This is not going well for one of the most esteemed members of the community.
Oh, absolutely. He's been streaming this game since 2010, pretty much constantly. Has helping Hans, definitely an esteemed member. He's now plugging away with a sniper. Always a good choice for those behind if you're a top-level player, that is. Not so much at mid-level play, but top-level players can use snipers to get a manpower advantage and get themselves back in the game that way. And it's a very expert-level kind of instinct decision to do that.
Great incendiary mine from Brosras there, Hans. I don't think he expected that would get thrown at that point. Sniper's gonna open up. Oh, I think he actually lost vision.
Yeah, well, there's smokes going around, isn't it? So it's not that easy, I guess. But also the Tommies evacuated this scenario. Panzer II is back out, Dan. So with a sniper. I love these extended mid-games, so it's a sign of the game being a little bit better paced and balanced overall. Is that we have an extended kind of early game and a little bit more of an extended mid-game, and it's just a bit nicer in that respect. AC again, Duck, what's happening? It's like the Groundhog Day.
No, I love it. I think what you're saying is totally true. People aren't afraid of missing out on the late game units anymore. Do you know what I mean? They're like, hey, you know, we can still play a very good game with these kind of light vehicles and get dominance. So yeah, let's make use of it. And Hans can't afford to make a mistake again here. He cannot afford to even trade. It has to be a flat-out win against the Lukes.
Definitely.
He has to be way more careful with the Raketen.
Well, one thing missing from this game is the Wehrmacht motorcycle. That was... If it had those really, really light vehicles, it'd have something at every stage that was mobile. It'd be really cool. I hope the next, whatever is in the future of this game, has like super light reconnaissance vehicles that are really nimble and have a small machine gun on them. That's just one thing slightly missing from KotH 2 that I've always wanted. These Tommies are really
currently,
you know?
Currently being criticised, I think, for saying incendiary mine. Sorry, I didn't mean incendiary grenade.
No, that they've been patched in down incendiary mines. You were completely right. I didn't think.
No, I was kind of looking at this, and it's my fault. It's slipped my mind.
I don't worry about it, mate.
No, I don't care. I'm just acknowledging it.
Oh, okay. Well, care less if you can. AEC's gone. Mobility decreased with its first shot there, thanks to the expert usage of course, target tread. And it will be able to probably follow up and destroy the vehicle. The Kettenwerfer can't be pushed fast enough.
Oh my gosh, Hans absolutely has to chase this down.
Main gun destroyed. Oh. Yes, gets it. There's his luck in this game, just about.
Yeah, but this is exactly what we needed to see from Hans. He had to win that engagement, and he had to win it in this way in order to have a field advantage. And also, he's kind of, in a way, given himself a little bit of time because Brosres hasn't teched yet. So there's time for him to get himself a foothold on the field, but it is a narrow window. Brosres has built up enough resources to kind of enter the late game a little earlier.
He is going to have 25% more feet to get a foothold with, as he's now taking bolster infantry squads. Then he's going to get a Vickers after that. So he's certainly trying to cement himself on the battlefield and really put himself in a strong military position. Which is very different from a missionary position, though.
How so?
There's more shouting involved.
Speak for yourself. Terrible, terrible.
So
anyway,
Sniper's now gotten 5 kills. It's not been as active as he might have wanted it to be, thanks to the dominance of the former Panzer II.
I feel like we're getting a bit of a wasted opportunity here because there's plenty of time for that AEC to be rolling around. We've got to have a vague idea of where the Raketen is. In fact, it's actually moving up now to the AEC. Hans has a vague idea and it's going to keep retreating that. But actually using the AEC without the support of infantry right now is an absolute death wish for Hans. He needs to make sure that it is always supported, otherwise that unit is not safe.
We're having possibly the Schwer Panzer headquarters coming up for Brosres, however, he elects to put it deep within his base, it looks like. Maybe, if he obviously casts his curse, he's not going to do it anymore. But...
I don't know. It's, yep, it is going to be tier 4, as you say.
He decided to do a 360-degree spin before he puts it up. Schwer Panzer headquarters.
Whenever I watch this, because like you know the way they spin the vehicle around and they get out and they pull it, it's like they're pulling, like, you know when you get the trucks that have the disco lights on.
Yeah,
kind of what it looks like. They jump up.
Welcome to our Funkenwagen. Let's have a disco, just like in Cologne.
The party bus has arrived. Hans is trying to push strategic decap through the center. He has a limited amount of time before the Funkwagen does complete, and
it's going to unleash its techno beat very shortly with its Here we go.
Here comes the beat.
Oh. Oh, Daniel, you're looking fabulous tonight. I like your leather panties.
So casting, when you cast for so long, you just kind of lose the mental ability to
when he starts doing his best Bruno impression, it's not going well. Right. Raketen sets up, AC's in peril. It's got to get behind that green cover, which will deceptively help out a little bit. He's made it along the road now.
Yeah, I'm impressed that Hans is coming back from this. He has not been in an easy situation, but can I just say, he's still winning on VPs. How has this happened? Against all the map control the Brosras has had, he's actually still winning on VPs and is getting himself into a sizable lead. With the Lukes down again, he's bringing an AT gun onto the field, expecting that maybe Brosras has been teching, and maybe this is why Brosras has been forced into Fortifications Doctrine.
Which, of course, does have access to the Pack 43 later on, should he wish to utilise it and destroy the Cromwells and the Comets with that later on. It's always a good idea. At Hans' disposal, Special Weapons Regiment, which is a popular choice of his. However, of course, he's not electing to go for that in this game, one would expect, because usually you're trying to get that M3 out as soon as possible. Later on, possibly Royal Engineer Regiment, or Mobile Assault, which is, you know, won him a lot of money in the past.
I think it's nice, like really nice, that he still has the choice of what he's going to pick right now. He hasn't been forced to anything, even whilst on the back foot. He's got great reactionary speed there. As soon as that Raketten hit his AEC, picked up on that, got it away. It just shows that he is watching all of the right engagements now. And I have to say, this isn't just because it's Hans or anything. I have a lot of respect for players that can keep calm and composure whilst playing from the back foot. And Hans has had a point where he had no territory in this game. So this is good, you know, systematic work to restore the situation.
Definitely. I think Helping Hands is one of those few elite players. And I've had the benefit of watching him grow as a player. I've been involved in casting tournament play since about 2012 maybe. And I distinctly remember the first few tournaments I ran, Hans did sign up for them. And he was this is true, he was an actual laughingstock at the time. He was known as Helping Choke, or a choke artist, because he would just choke in games, it's true. But then we saw this emergence during the latest parts of ESL where he really matured as a player. And now he's one of those few elite players that can honestly just sit there calmly and methodically, well, you know, unless he has a debilitating migraine, and he can win games against the best of the world in a tense, stressful situation, and that puts him in an elite group now.
Yes,
me, Loveness, Nagano, Hans.
You?
Sorry, I meant Smoke. Obviously not Nagano.
Well, Panzer IV is about to arrive on the field for Brosras, and I don't know if there's a need for this right now. It's an interesting... I guess with the amount of infantry Hans has on the field, the Panzer IV is going to be really good at helping him deal with that. He doesn't want to wait up for a Panther because he hasn't seen a teching choice from Hans yet other than the AEC. He's got to know that Hans is kind of on the back foot. I think Hans is teching right now due to the amount of fuel that he's got. So Hans does need to be pretty quick, or he needs to select something with off-map.
AEC's in peril. The Panzer IV is in pursuit. Misses wildly. There's nothing contesting it right now. AEC has got beyond the fog of war and will survive for now. Yeah, the Panzer IV down is a remarkable armor profile compared to its Wehrmacht compatriot. It's a pretty meaty tank to build at any point really for the OKW. It does, of course, however, cost considerable 140 fuel compared to other medium tanks.
Well, with his position as it is at the moment, he both players have kind of stunted themselves on the fuel front. But Brosras has the advantage of that bigger armor piece on the field, so he needs to secure himself map control right now. He needs to dominate that resource front, and then of course we'll see that Helping Hands will be a long while before he's able to get a vehicle out. So it's a big moment for Brosras. It's exactly what he needed to get back into this game. After Hans has made a brilliant kind of section of this game as a comeback.
Sorry, curse just put that a second. Panzer IV now reversing its way across the field. AEC has to recoil because it can't compete in a one-to-one. Sniper taking some dangerous shots there. Very dangerous. There is the 6-pounder though, Dan, so it is safe all in all, and he can can protect himself. And Brosras is having to get a Rakettenwerfer, so I'm not sure about that. He must be expecting Hans to be getting the, you know, Cromwell or the Comet shortly.
He may get a Crocodile if he was to really wait out, but I think he's tech now, we can see that, so he's got to be going for something. The Cromwell seems to be the likely option because it's kind of the best merger. And if you can get a great... Oh, look at that AC blowing up Brosras's own mine against him. Hans immediately focus fires the squad. Volksgrenadier down.
And it was the turret gunner of the AC that got the kill, like we talked about earlier. It's quite a potent machine gun on that thing. This is just one of those games, it's really starting to boil over and ferment. It's on a slow burn right now, but you can really feel it's going to be a raging crescendo, knockout blows to come. Because both of these players have a lot of pride at stake. Brosras, of course, is starting to cement a legacy today as Tsar Brosas the First. But Helping Hands has a lot of pride as well, and he'll be wanting to prove he's still the daddy.
I think he's doing a very good job of it at the moment because, as I say, Brosras losing in the VP department. And as Axis, you kind of want the VPs to be in your favour because, you know, the late game is that's kind of your preferred portion to win most of the time. And
definitely.
Yeah, so Hans has at least put himself in a good position. We're just watching him at the moment. Just check out the positioning of everything he's doing. The position of the AT gun is good, covering a large area. You know, he's very well utilizing the sniper for sight, for kind of support, just to weaken squads. So his Tommies are doing, you know, having great engagements basically with the support of the sniper. So you know, the build, the combined arms build for Hans is really nice right now. We'll see the positioning come into effect now.
Very competent. I mean, the MGs are stalling the game out a little bit, but in general, it's a really good build. I've seen a very cute comment in chat from DJ Lude. I heard Helping Hands with a D is amazing. So we have to recognise that, of course, we've got 750 viewers, viewer record for Season 2 so far. And we have got new eyeballs on the product. There's been a lot of Steam sales recently. So just to let you know, this is competitive Company Heroes. This is the creme de la creme of the world going up against each other in a winner-stays-on format. And this game is fiendishly difficult to play. And seeing the best players in the world play it is an absolute pleasure. So stick around, you're going to enjoy what you see. And what do you see in the build right now for Helping Hands stuff?
It looks like he is going to go for the Cromwell. That's what we expected because it's what's going to be able to at least go toe-to-toe. I mean, they have relatively similar builds, you know, aside from the sniper. That's AEC very close going down to the Raketten, but manages to get away just in time. And this is a good position now that Brosras has cleared the center because he's able to push quite deep behind enemy territory and he's going to try and flush out that sniper. But will the Cromwell be just in time to push this away?
It's going to have to be. It's getting those spotting scopes on from the tank commander as soon as humanly possible, the binoculars rather. Because he's got to get into battle and try and rescue that eastern flank from the tyranny of the Panzer IV.
It's another thing we normally point out when we see players who do this. Like, Helping Hands didn't retreat the sniper when it was in danger. He's a very, very good player to watch for sniper control because just like Love Nest, and you know, they move the sniper to its safe spaces. You know, they hide it, they play with it. They don't retreat because that's kind of where things are going to get lost. You'll die on the retreat path. Like they kind of outplay their opponents by doing that. And Hans didn't retreat then under threat. He kept his cool, and he brought in units to back things up. I think both players have found their respective areas on the map now. Helping Hands is going to go right and mid, and it's kind of going to be his job to hold this area down and deplete Brosras's VPs. He can probably make a little attempt on the left too.
If people are wondering how this game develops from here, it is through the advent of further medium armor. They're going to get to a boiling over point. Oh god, talking about boiling over, the Cromwell could be burning up very shortly thanks to Rakettenwerfers. But a boiling over point where they've got critical mass, where they feel confident to go all in. And that's why competitive Company Heroes is rather like poker. It's got a huge RNG element, so you don't really want to throw your chips onto the table until you feel confident in what you've got. the problem for these players is their opponents might have just as much or if not better than them. So it's a real delicate balance, and you're looking for an opening, and it's who falters first could be the turning point in this game, because both players have played very well in the first 25 minutes.
I'm a little bit interested into Brosras's commander pick here, because he's gone for fortifications, and I've seen him use some of the mines, but otherwise not a great deal has come out of the commander so far. So I'm wondering if he's saving up for something, whether he'll utilize the Pack 43, something big in the center of the map that's going to help him just secure and dominate.
I got excited for those Tommies then as they were crunched behind cover, but look, talking about crunched, the Cromwell's got to get out of there right now because the Panzer IV was looming.
Yeah, I've got AEC getting the immobilization shots on that Panzer IV. No AT gun in position at the moment to help, but Brosras, hyper aggressive at the moment, is taking the fuel point on the right hand side and just putting insane pressure.
It's now become a bedding salesperson, and he's got Her Majesty's mattress to sell right now as it fires its rockets into the sky and thundering onto the battlefield.
I think he's trying to get the MG there. There's quite a lot of spread on these shells as they land.
ASC, one more shot required to take out this Panzer IV. Immobilized critical. Will it get the finishing blow? It bounces off the frontal armor. It finds the rear armor. One more shot required. Oh, another crit! It finally burns up though. However, it's in deep within enemy lines, Dan. Will it be able to escape?
I think the interesting one is, yeah, how is he going to escape with this? He's going to take it round through the map. In fact, he's retreating. I think he's going to use it again.
Wow, this is crazy from Helping Hands. The turret's facing the wrong way though. The Panzer IV's gotten a big shot off. He can block.
Sure. Go on, Hans! Go on, Hans! You can block. He needs to get rear armor right now. He's smoking. Will he ground attack through the smoke?
Oh, that is unfortunate. The Faust through the smoke.
This is dangerous. I think he maybe thought he could go in with the Cromwell. Faust wasn't given by Brosras. I think he missed an opportunity there, because a Faust and that Cromwell would have been disastrous. But a good engagement, and you know, this is one of the great things, is that an AEC, like a light vehicle, you get it like 6-7 minutes in the game, and it's still capable of bringing down late game units, you know, when played correctly. So good, you know, good play there from Hans.
That was excellent by him, and he was a little bit punished, but perhaps he got greedy. And that's the thing about gambling, is, yeah, when you gamble and you win, you get overly confident, and then you think, you know what, I'm going to gamble again. Second time, wasn't so lucky, and he got punished by the RNG gods with the Faust through the smoke. And that is just unfortunate.
Here we go, Vox Grenadiers might trip this mine towards the VP. That's a signal to Helping Hands that Brosras is back up the centre of the field again, and that some form of resistance needs to come up and meet him. At the same time, Helping Hand's going to take the left VP. This is going to spread Brosras out across the map now, and create just a bigger field that Brosras has to care about. He's going to have to put his units in more places. There's going to be more engagements all over the place, and it's a great position for Hands because he's locked down in 2 places. This is Hands putting on great pressure.
It is. However, the Panzer IV is a very mobile beast. It was able to reverse all the way across the map and answer the threat. And all he's lost is... oh god, we've got an engagement here. Double Raketenwerfer that opens up. Panzer Mark IV tries to follow it, needing one more shot. Is it able to get it off? No, it isn't. Cromwell escapes to safety.
Hans has to be careful of that, because it's not the first time that has happened when he's overextended. You know, maybe what he'll look at doing is waiting for those Raketens to open up and then using the land mattress to wipe them out. Another great thing we're seeing from Brosras, by the way, is he's using these Raketens in stealth mode to cap the VPs, because of course they will cap on the stealth with relatively no problem, and it's always forcing Hand to kind of reveal units in the centre.
Tell you what, this land mattress needs to open up shortly. It's had an excellent opportunity in the centre there, and it's one of those things, sometimes it's better to keep it firing. I mean, if you keep waiting, you'll miss out on some of the DPS output over time. But Hans seems to want to save it for that all-important moment where he really needs it, so fair dues to him in that respect.
To be honest, I think if you can see the centre VP being capped and you don't know what it is, I think that's a good time to use the land mattress.
And he is doing that now.
Yeah.
No? No, just trolling us. There we go, finally. After it's capped, he engages it. Does he? Yes, he does.
I don't know, it might still cause some chaos.
Seemingly not. He's actually gone behind the units, hoping to catch them on retreat, but not captured much at all. Might tickle the Panzer IV if he's relatively careful. Fresh Panzer IV. It is a little bit.
He's actually getting some units on retreat though. And it takes a Raketen down with it as well after all that, still firing rounds like nearly a minute after the button was pressed. Actually gets a couple of models of the Stern Pioneers and a Raketen. So I think he actually achieved its goal at least. And look at Hans, he's straight down the field with the Cromwell now for this.
Hans has a big question to ask himself at the moment because he has fuel and manpower to bank. Obviously, he doesn't have a commander with much late game call-in potential, but he does. He hasn't actually teched hammer or anvil yet, so he's got 192 fuel and counting, and it's interesting to see what he does with it.
I think it's something he can easily do is to go for the Comet now because 200 fuel in the bank. He could take double fuel here. That was very unfortunate. Panzer IV. Detonating mine by the engineers there. I think he will. I think it'd be sensible for him to play Comet if he sees 2 Panzer IVs.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the 6-pounder to back it up, you know, and if he keeps laying mines, he can protect his flanks. We do have, by the way, helping hands now at pop cap, so he's going to have to lose something before he can... Thank you for that, Ishtari, by the way. He's going to have to lose something before he can bring anything else on. Who does he elect to sacrifice, Dan?
It's a tough one, to be honest. I mean...
It's got to be that Royal Engineer with no vet, surely.
I don't really know that the machine guns are doing a great job for him at the moment. One thing he doesn't want to do, though, is lose these weapons to his opponents. He'd probably be better just kind of ground attacking them back in base. Yeah. It's a tough one.
This is true, though. This is how you do it. You put the Vickers in that house to the north of the munitions point, and then you'd attack around the house, because then your opponent can never pick up the weapon, and you'd get the manpower, you get the pop cap back. That'd be the most efficient way to do that.
The interesting thing, though, is that whilst he is kind of not able to produce vehicles, we would hope that he would be teching, you know, in the background. So you probably want to know that the Comet's coming next. I think that's likely. So let's get the tech rolling now, but instead the float is on at 740 manpower, 235 fuel, and
I mean, even as well, he's got just a Cromwell Vet 0, right? It's got 2 kills. He could go for a push now because he's got 770 manpower, about 240 fuel. I mean, what's the point in waiting? Just go for it. It's, in fact, now it could be the moment we're asking for. The land mattress is firing. Could hearken Hans being aggressive, possibly?
Oh, Brosras was forced to retreat through this. Will those rockets land anything on the squads? I'm not 100% sure on the land mattress targeting today.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Stickers of Foos coming out though now, which could help a lot against the land mattress because of course it could destroy it, which is always helpful.
Cromwell with camouflage there, trying to work its way up slowly on the Panzer IVs. This branch should help shield it from detection.
That's just a bit plucky from the British tank there, just having a little bit of a reconnaissance mission, it would seem, deep behind enemy lines. Not uncommon to how they were actually utilised in World War II. Had a fantastic top speed, thanks to the Royal Royce engine, same one they used in Spitfires.
I mean, in a way, you've got to think Brosras is probably going to be helping Hans here. Ah, do you get that? Because yes, he's going to be wiping units with this Stuka. Actually, play against him. I think he's doing a pretty good job of letting Hans be stuck with his current build.
Yeah, but his infantry points down. He's getting bled right now as Brosras. It's just not working for him in terms of map control. This overall game, helping Hans has just proven superior in terms of capping. So it's actually pushing Brosras into a corner, and he's going to have to possibly be the aggressor, even though he has the. To be fair, they've got the exact same pop cat right now, so he's definitely getting to the position where he's got a big army. Will he brandish it? Pull it out of his pants. Let's see what happens.
Interesting. I think first thing he's got to do is highlight where that where that what's it called, land mattress, sorry, where that land mattress is, then he can deliver the shot with the Stuka. It's got to be very, very well positioned. In fact, he's going to use it now. No, that's the land mattress. So here we go. Stuka is lining up the shots on the return. Here it goes.
Here comes the Stuka Zafus in return. It's retaliation. Land mattress recoils in terror. It is the target of choice. However, the trees save its life seemingly.
I think he misfired that. You can see the line there. It might have been that he was going for the machine gun so he could cap the center VP rather than that, but he could have got both. That's what I personally thought.
Panzer IV's doing a decent amount of work, just protecting that victory point. Also, in the center right now, we've got a very important battle. Folks Grenadiers are trying to cap. Tommy's come to stop them. They are incendiary grenaded. They are now going to need the Cromwell to give covering and supportive fire. It's a very important battle, Dan, because he's got 118 victory points left, so he needs to get back in the VP game.
Of course, one of the things is to deal with. Hans is still being aggressive on multiple fronts. Look at the AT guns landing shots at maximum range, penetrating Panzer IV there. That Panzer IV is protecting this bunker, which I guess is one of the reasons why Brosras has decided to pick Fortifications Doctrine. And
oh, nice there. We've seen the, of course, critical shot from the sniper, allowing the 6-pounds to get a cracking shot in. It's not been what Helping Hands wanted, though, in order to trigger his aggression. It's still been a very methodical game, 36 minutes in. Both players are at theoretical pop cap, not able to bring on anything of merit. They have decent army sizes, huge contingent of which is based on support weapons. You can hear the... But Brosras has done a very clever thing, Dan. He started to lay bunkers down, which of course don't take up any population cap. However, that's not going to last for long.
No, it's true. It's pretty easy for those AT guns to pick that off. We've got Stuka once again. I think it's going to hit this AT gun that just fired. It's a big shot, but only one of the shells connects. And Hans may get a triple cap here, eh?
Hans did a pro play there. He moved forwards rather than backwards, and a lot of players wouldn't do that. So just a little tip for you out there. Do the exact opposite of what you think would work, and it sometimes works.
You see the Piats there on the engineers. So Hans has been using his munitions, but he may lose the engineer squad if he does not retreat.
Sturm conveyors open up. Can't get the kill on account of them being blown up by the Cromwell, which is nice for them.
Sturm going to go down.
Indeed.
You would hope
they should. One would hope. They are in theoretical medium cover. It doesn't matter. Headshotted last possible second. And that could allow Brosras, the population cap, to get a further tank out, maybe?
Oh, wow, this is tough. Brosras is going to have to make a move for the left VP. I think he was looking to take fuel. Of course, hitting that VP is going to move Hans's army, or available army, over to the left.
One thing we didn't consider there, Dan, do you know that Stern Pioneer? Do you know, the tank was reversing across the apex of the east, do you know the hedge?
Yes.
In front of the base. Because the tank was at the apex, the algorithm for retreat kicked in, and it would have usually sent it along the nice path to base.
Oh, right.
Instead, it had to go, the shortest path temporarily was all the way around the hedge. So it's just one of those things in Company Heroes. The retreat paths are sometimes really brutal, and if like a tank is making it slightly longer for a second, it will calculate that, and you will have to go the long way around.
Quick look at the current stats at the moment. Helping Hands comfortably leading in KD at the moment. He's killing a lot more than his counterpart. Brosras coming up with 60 VPs. Very shortly, and having to defend against one of Company of Heroes' kind of all-time greats.
Goose returns, rocket artillery fire, gets a huge wipe there on the veteran Vickers. The Rocket Vickers can't get in the capping circle though on account of Her Majesty's land mattress. We do have 3 Panzer IVs, so the Panzer Wolf is on the field.
This is an interesting one because we've only got the one Cromwell. We've only got the, well, it's 2 AT guns, but they're at different ends at the moment. I'm just thinking, if he rushes with these Panzer IVs, maybe even under the support of the Stuka, I don't think he'll get time now, but he could make a pretty big push, could make a devastating push, and I think he's going for it right now.
He can hear the Royal Engineers repairing. He knows where the tank is. He's going in for it. The sniper can give covering fire. The Piats are definitely helping out. Huge shot from the 6-pounder. Panzer IV in peril.
Yeah, he should have committed to driving into that. He let the AT gun take that shot, which is really unfortunate, but now this is it. He has to throw. He knows it is all or nothing.
It's that time. It's time to gamble. He's going to have to go for it because he has no other choice thanks to those little tickets called victory points. 6-pounder has to be taken out. The tanks temporarily have to target it. It's Veteran 3. He can't allow it to sustain itself.
Wow, he doesn't actually go to chase down the Cromwell. He is going to deal with the Vet 3, but pretty much all of the tanks go down instantly. Great comeback from Helping Hands. A new king is crowned. And what a shame. It's going to be the last game of the day.
Shame, but always leave on wanting more, and I'm certain that our 700 odd viewers are going to be tuning in next week for more of this great action.
All right, an excellent game to finish on. It's good to see the Brits back in action in capable hands, and thank you, Hans, for showing us a great comeback game and keeping cool composure there from a very difficult situation. Hans will be the king starting off next week, and that is join us next Sunday. It's going to be 2 p.m. GMT, as it has always been.
Messages for the players out there, of course, so you can tell what Dan and I are trying to do here with King of the Hill. We're trying to give you a reason to train and not just be good auto-match ladder rank players, but be great competitive players in a... Dan, how tense is a best of one, all or nothing scenario? You know, you've got to be on your game, you've got to be fierce, you've got to be aggressive. And until you get that confidence of training with your sparring partners outside of auto-match, you won't get that confidence to be killing the game and finishing your opponent off. And that's exactly the transition that will make you from a standard auto-match player to a tourney winner like Helping Hands is. So if you've seen Helping Hands and you want to beat him as king, you're going to have to train. It's nothing that will get you to that level. Auto-match won't cut it. Playing on West Wall against Paula, that's not going to help you train to win in King of the Hill or later tournaments to come this year. So you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to treat the game seriously, because there are huge opportunities in... The King of the Hill itself is a great opportunity to play instead of 700 people, £20 a game. But there's huge opportunities on the horizon this summer and later on. So get training and see competitive coming heroes as something really to savour. It's going to be good.
It is going to be good, and I'm actually really looking forward to this year with absolutely no background knowledge whatsoever. But but just Helping Hands has just said in chat, by the way, I will be at PC Gamer Weekender next Sunday. And do you know what that means, E? It means we get to play Attrition. Yay!
Oh, no!
So this is the perfect... all players who are signing up next week, make sure you have the Attrition game mode, because part of our rules is that if there's no king available, we will play a brutal game of Attrition. So...
So all that stuff I just said is now completely worthless. Get training with your scrim buddies and your 4v4 teams in Attrition mode. You know, it's going to be good. Easy AI.
Attrition's good. You know, Attrition hasn't been showcased in any professional or like tournament sense, has it really? So no. It's a little bit of fun just to make sure we get a king quickly and unfairly. So
unfairly, I like that. Another good point, by the way, guys, is this Friday evening, Dan and I will be casting and hosted by Sega of all people, and it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be a 2v2 between Talisman and GB the Hooligan 486 versus Goldpath 2, that's Nagano and Scotch, with a twist, an exciting twist as part of the Make War Not Love annual celebrations, which are of course incredible hype resident sleeper. So look forward to seeing us at 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time this Friday evening as a little bit of a fun show.
Awesome. Well, I don't think we have anything else to say. One more thing just before we wrap up. Thank you everybody who donated today, because obviously this is a crowd-funded event, and there's been loads of people who are very generously keeping it going week on week. Thank you very much to everyone that has done that. Thank you very much for the subscriptions and just the general support in general. Go over to AE's YouTube channel, subscribe there. That's where all the games will be uploaded very shortly, so you can watch these all back and pick out any of your favorite moments, or just study the current meta for certain players. But with that, AE, anything else to say?
No, I've said everything I've ever wanted to say.
And on that note, we'll see you next week at 2 PM next Sunday. Ta-ra!